I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be why she doesn't call in between your dates. Well, like I talk about in my book, the idea is that by calling a girl once a week and asking her out for a date, what will happen is usually by the third or fourth week in, as long as you're doing more things right than wrong, her interest level and her level of attraction for you and her comfort level should be steadily increasing. And when a woman gets to that place that she feels comfortable and she's not a structured woman or a shy woman or a girl that holds back or is following some kind of rules or script, she'll call you. She'll text you like the day after or maybe even that evening or a couple days later after your date and tell you what a wonderful time she had, how great it was to see you, how fantastic the sex was or whatever. And then you simply use those, like say you take her out on a Thursday night and then Sunday she texts you to tell you what an awesome time it was on Thursday. And then when she texts you, just say, I had a great time too. When are you free to get together next? Let her answer and then simply make a date on one of the next days that she's available. And what will happen is as you get further and further down the road, it'll get to the point where she's texting you and calling you pretty much every day. And so you won't have to be initiating any contact at all at that point. You'll be simply responding to her. When you do respond to her, you just simply arrange the next opportunity to get together for sex to happen or a date, which is what I like to call it. And that way, because remember, the phone is strictly to be used for setting appointments, not texting, not chit-chatting back and forth. And so when a girl's reaching out to you and she texts you and she wants to chit-chat, she wants to talk, I'd say 3 or 4 texts max is enough. And you say, wow, that sounds really great. I can't wait to hear all about it. Why don't we get together for dinner? When are you free? ? Send that. Let her tell you, and then pick a day and time to get together. You can either pick her up or you can meet her out someplace. It just strictly depends on how comfortable you are. Or like sometimes if you're in a city and she lives quite a distance, you can both travel and like meet midway. So I've got an email here from a viewer, and he says, Hi, Corey. Thanks for all of your help and advice. I've read your book, and I would like to recommend it to everyone. The advice in there is invaluable, not just for dating, but for life in general. I work mainly with women, and being able to understand how and why they communicate the way they do has enabled me to get a lot less frustrated with them. Being a practical, logical sort of guy, I always neglected the importance of emotional communication, the main form of communication for women. I have been on 4 dates with a woman who has had a happy childhood and a strong, healthy relationship with her father. All good signs. She strikes me as a woman of good character and never speaks ill of anyone. However, she was married to a man who was abusive towards her and has been divorced for some time. She's clearly attracted to me because she kisses on dates, she holds onto my arm when walking, and asks endless questions about me and my family. Obviously, when a woman asks you questions about yourself, personal questions, it communicates that she's sincerely interested in you and wants to know who you are. Because women that don't ask, it means they're not really into it. They're just happy to go out and get a free dinner or a free drink because they figure, hey, maybe I'll meet one of his friends or somebody else on the date. He says, she asks frequently if I've ever hit a woman or if I have served time in jail, and I've done neither. She also travels some distance to see me. When we part company, she looks back at me with a smile and slightly a sad look. She weighs in a hesitant way, in a way that looks a little nervous. I've been following your advice and letting her talk, and she is opening up to me nicely. However, she says she feels a psychological barrier for her, which says it's caused by the negative experience of an abusive marriage that she came out of. I have followed your advice and do not phone in between dates, and she says I am someone who gives people space. I phoned her yesterday to make final arrangements for our date today, and it's been over a week since I saw or spoke to her last. Well, my question to you is, when you make a definite date, it means you've got a definite day and time to pick her up. And so that tells me you either agreed to a call back to verify type of response where she said, well, I'll just call, we'll nail things down later in the week, which that's not a definite date. And it's obvious you didn't have a particular definite date here. So that's one mistake before I even go any further in your email that you've made. A definite date is where you have definite plans for a definite time and a definite day to either meet up or for you to pick her up. And so that is a problem, and that's part of your problem here. He says, she did not know what was happening because I did not phone during the week. He says, I told her, well, that's the way I am. I don't want to be one of those guys who phones all of the time. And she said, it's okay to phone. And so what you're just basically communicating in your response is that I'm not calling on purpose. I'm purposely not calling you. And so she can take that as that you're playing games or you're not being inauthentic in her response. And you're basically justifying. And so he says, I think she's encouraging me to phone her, but she is not phoning me at all during the week. I do not know if this is a test to see if I will chase her or if it's a psychological barrier making it difficult for her to phone me. What do you think? Well, this tells me it's indicative of her level of comfort for you. And yeah, obviously being in an abusive marriage is going to fuck a chick up emotionally and psychologically. And so you're kind of dealing with a wounded bird here. But it also tells me that she's not comfortable yet with you, and now you're basically telling her in your response that you're an actor. You're doing things not because it's naturally who you are, but you're following some kind of script or whatever. And so the idea is that you go out with a girl once a week, and in between the times that you talk, she'll start to reach out with you just to say, hey, I had a great time, I can't wait to see you again, stuff like that, as her interest level goes up. But she's not doing those things yet because she's a little bit uncomfortable. So obviously you must have said that, made some up in the air plans about going out on a specific day, and then you waited until the day of the date to call her. So more than likely she's probably thinking that since you hadn't heard from you, you were going to probably cancel on her, which caused her to not feel comfortable. And then your response basically says that I was purposely not calling you for no real good reason. And so, like I said, that's where you're fucking up, and you're messing with this girl's level of comfort. Because when you've called earlier in the week, you said, hey, I had a great time last week and I definitely want to see you. When are you free to get together again? Let her respond and just make definite plans. That means you have a definite time, a definite place to meet or to pick her up, and she knows when you're coming. And then when you get off the phone, you say, I'll just pick you up Friday night, or I'll just see you Friday night, and if something comes up, I will text you. Otherwise, I'll see you at your place, or I'll see you at the restaurant, or I'll see you at the bar, whatever you've made plans with. And then you just say, is that cool? And she's like, yeah, it sounds great. Awesome, I'll see you then. Because that way, if something comes up on your end or on her end, she can reach out to you, or you can reach out to her. But as it is, you've kind of left things up in the air, and you kind of left this girl hanging, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but the way you went about it and what your response was communicated that you're being inauthentic with her. And that's going to you're going to mess with the girl's comfort level. When a girl's uncomfortable, she's not going to reach out to you, and she's not going to start chasing you. So that's just something that you need to clean up your act a little bit when it comes to making your dates. And over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, that should help things along a little bit more. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions or your challenges, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. And if you want to talk to me right away and get my help with a situation that you have, or a relationship, or whatever, pickup advice, or life coaching issues, go to my website, click the Products tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, you can go to my website, and on the right-hand side underneath the email sign-up box is a box that has a link to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Just click the link, and once you get to the download page, if you don't have a Kindle device, on the right-hand side there's a button you can click to download a free e-reader app for your smartphone, your tablet device, or your computer. It only takes a matter of seconds to download and install it, and only a few more seconds after that to complete the purchase. And you'll be reading it in no time. If you appreciate the value of the information in my videos and my articles on my website, you can show your appreciation by going to my website, and on the Wibia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.